The frost line. Grady Littrell never cared for the cold, which made his job at the Northfield Water Treatment Plant a daily test of patience. January hit the town like a hammer that year. Pipes barked and moaned, metal snapped without warning, and the ground seemed to hold its breath under a sheet of ice thick enough to hide anything. On a morning that started far too early, Grady trudged across the yard toward a sensor hut that had gone offline sometime in the night. The wind sliced through his coat and slapped color out of his cheeks. He blamed the cold for everything, for the numb fingers, for the headache blooming behind his eyes, for the strange shape he thought he saw under the snow beside the access hatch. He told himself it was drifted ice and kept walking. The sensor hut was barely big enough for one person standing. The door stuck, and he had to shoulder it open. Inside, the temperature felt a few degrees warmer, which made the smell hit harder. Rot, damp cloth, a sweetness that clung to the back of the throat. The equipment blinked in a passive, dying rhythm. Grady knelt to reset the breaker and noticed the frost on the floor wasn't frost at all. It had patterns, fine branching lines that looked like tiny, delicate roots winding toward the door. A faint thump echoed from beneath the metal grate. A second thump followed, closer, more deliberate. Grady held still. Something moved below him, dragging its weight across the utility crawlspace. The metal groaned with the strain. He felt the vibration through his boots, a slow, searching push, as if whatever was down there was pressing its body against the underside of the grate. He backed up fast, hit the wall, and nearly knocked over the emergency radio. The thumping stopped. Grady told himself he was tired, that animals got into crawl spaces all the time. Raccoons, strays, hell, maybe even a deer trapped in the intake shaft. He tried to believe any of it. He opened the door to leave and found the shape in the snow again. Not drift, not ice, a mound. Waist high, perfectly smooth. The wind should have scoured it. Instead, it sat untouched, as if something below kept the snow warm enough to pack into his skin. A hairline crack split across the top. Grady stepped back, every muscle tight. The crack widened with a soft, wet sound. A breath escaped from inside, fogging the air, even though the temperature was well below freezing. The mound shifted, sagged, then pushed upward. He ran. He didn't make it far. The snow behind him heaved as something massive slid beneath the surface, moving with a speed that didn't match its size. It kept pace without breaking through, just a shadow under ice. When Grady reached the main door and turned to look, the mound had collapsed. In its place was a dark opening in the snow, a perfect circle leading straight into the earth. Warm air drifted out of it, warm and sweet, the same smell from the hut. The frost patterns that had covered the floor now laced across the snow in branching lines, reaching toward Grady's boots like a map drawing itself in real time. He went inside, locked the door, and called upstairs for backup. No one answered. Just static and a faint noise that reminded him of breathing. The building's lights flickered. Outside, the frost lines thickened and crept up the walls. By noon, the town would call it a system failure, a freak outage, frozen infrastructure. Grady knew better. He stood at the window and watched the snow ripple as something tunneled beneath it, circling the plant in slow, patient loops. Not hunting, just waiting for the frost line to spread